Breath of the Wild is still one of the best Zelda games ever, but it's certainly no longer the best. Here are our 10 things Tears of the Kingdom does better than Breath of the Wild. Number 10, more enemy variety. Look, if we wanted to be boring, we would just say something like combat. But that's weak. Tears of the Kingdom vastly fleshed out Breath of the Wild's version of Hyrule, and we want to get into the particulars, the nuances, the subtitles. Wait, the subtitles? I mean, the subtleties of the design, and you know what? The subtitles look good too, as did the enemies. Yes, we can say Horriblins and Gibdos returned and are more aggressive, but that's not really the point. With the enhanced item types and interactions, this meant the enemies, even of old, had more unique combinations. So that's what we mean when we say more enemy variety, capiche? Number 9, less empty spaces. Breath of the Wild was an incredible game that didn't quite anticipate how far even casual players would go to see what was behind that mountain. And sure, it's the journey, not the destination, and there were plenty of Korok seeds, but Tears of the Kingdom is such a different game, drastically raising the level of verticality while making interacting and traversing the world shockingly easy. It's like Nintendo was so full of ideas, they had to start building into the sky. You can only imagine how jam-packed the ground floor is. This is a substantial conversion of the previous game's world. Number 8, more creative runes. The runes were a fun way to interact with the world. Now they're practically cheat codes. No, really. It's like fast travel the game. Stuck on a puzzle? You can just leave, teleport through the ceiling, go do something else. Oh, there's something you want to explore? Build a ramp. Yeah, handy man, it's all good. Slap it together like an elf cosplayer in a shop class. Then build whatever you want. Will it be successful? Absolutely. Always. I mean, if you build it right, and most of the time you will not, and it will probably explode. But don't worry, you can make everything go in reverse. Seriously, this is like Game Genie for Switch. Number 7, less irritating rain. I think if most players were being honest with themselves, the rain in Breath of the Wild was pretty exciting for the first few times. Problem was when you needed to get something done, and the game decided, nah, climbing isn't really in the cards for you for the next 5 minutes or so. Oh, that's cute, Nintendo. That's still here, but there's about 10 million ways to get around it. On the most basic level, there's potions and the aforementioned descend ability. It could be a hindrance, hypothetically, but this time you have a lot more options. Number 6, that sense of discovery. Yes, this was and is a component of every Zelda game. Sure, but as we've already pointed out, this is a game that ignores the logical limits of its predecessors to essentially make Link into a dang wizard. And when that happens, you can reach seemingly unreachable places. And when you get there, you see a ladder. And it feels like you're the first person to discover this small event in the world of Hyrule. And that feeling is the sense of discovery for the modern era. When you're confident you're breaking the game, breaking the rules, doing something the developer didn't expect, and you stumble right into an Easter egg. That's something special. Number 5, the side quests. I think we've been pretty nice to Breath of the Wild so far, well, with it being one of the best games of all time, you know. But if we had to be critical, we would highlight the overly obtuse side quests, which called back to an older style of games. Neat, but we'll happily take Tears of the Kingdom any day. You get to help some Sycophant hold up a sign and help an overpacked Korok get to his friend in clever ways. More on that in a bit, but it adds a lot more personality to the world and story. You know, a little touch point that says, hey, you made it to the next place. Plus, the characters are adorable. Number 4, getting around. There's more options to go anywhere in Hyrule, but this entry is for the plethora of minecarts, fan-powered vehicles, and rocket-flying platforms we've all seen on social media. Previously, it was about how fast you can shield slide down a hill. Now we're seeing self-perpetuating battery-powered mech suits. I'm not sure that's going to break any time trials with that setup, but the imagination required, and most importantly, rewarded by the gameplay systems, is why so many have continued to invent new flying machines. Oh, to dare to dream and mostly explode. Number 3, the puzzles. As we pointed out, this game is free and easy when it comes to letting players make their own fun. But the puzzles are back, and they are wise to your gimmicks, challenging in just the right way to make anything seem possible. But once solved, there's obviously only one solution. Unless you're one of those players online that shared a clip of you figuring out some really obtuse way to solve something. I mean, you know, hats off to you. That's really impressive. But for the most part, this really helps the mechanics feel so fully realized. Even the failures provide plenty of entertainment as they fall apart. Plus, it lets you comically throw Link into lava by accident. Good times. Number 2, weapon creation. Oh yes, weapon integration cast forth the wailing and gnashing of teeth back when Breath of the Wild came out. Did Tears of the Kingdom get rid of it? You darn well know it didn't. Instead, you can pretty much glue anything together and make it a weapon, even if it's a very, very silly and bad idea, like an explosive at the end of a spear. Yeah, you'll still lose weapons all the time, but there's always something new behind the corner to repackage, like 2 spears with an explosive on the end. The possibilities are endless. Number 1, a watercolor painting come to life. Look, if you want to debate if these additions really improve the Breath of the Wild formula, be our guest. But let there be no doubt that this is the better looking game. Sure, it had the unfair advantage of being built directly for the Switch, but there's something beyond technical specs and horsepower behind these lush fields and gloomy dungeons. This is all about art design and easily clears any hurdles coming from the Switch's much more robust Xbox and PlayStation platforms. You don't believe us? Go do the Master Sword quest. Nintendo have reached a visual level with Tears of the Kingdom they simply haven't attempted in years. And there you have it, 10 things Tears of the Kingdom does better than Breath of the Wild. If you haven't played either of these games, you gotta try them. And if you want to get some help to get started, keep clicking around here in Game Rant, and we'll see you soon.